Ah, that original scream. It takes you back, doesn't it, to when you were younger? Well, here we are playing murder, and today we're going to start with the bystander. It's basically the equivalent of the uh, innocent. So you start out with nothing, and you just get to roam around and listen to other people rant and rave. But as the bystander in murder, your objective is basically to survive. That's it. You can go around, you can find props, which you'll see them eventually. They'll be like highlighted items glowing green with some kind of aura around them. You'll see them real quick. And honestly, there's not really a whole lot to do in murder. I mean, you know, look at what I'm doing. I'm just sitting here just listening to these people just talk. I mean, I don't really know how to inject myself into the conversation. Most of these players, as you will eventually see, some of them have at least 200 weeks played in this server, this specific server. So that means at least 2 years. Some people have been playing on the server for 2 years. What drives people to do that? What motivates people to go out and play this same game mode for 2 years in a row? And they're like, I could hardly find an actual game mode for it. Keep in mind, it took me a week to find this lobby. So I'm thinking like they only play this once a week. Another really big downside about playing the bystander is you're kind of just helpless. There are instances where you're just gonna die, well, like this. You're kind of just helpless at the whim of the bystander with the weapon. Now, the bystander with the weapon is a little bit different than the standard bystander. Get it? He or they, she, whatever. They start with a pistol, and that's it. And their whole objective is to actively go out and find whoever the murderer is, and put their reign of terror to end, so to speak. The only problem lies in, everything about the game mode, because you don't really hear people talking a whole lot. Like myself, I don't really talk a lot, so it's kind of hard to gauge what people are saying. So if you have difficulties communicating, you're going to have difficulties with this specific class. And that's the short end of the stick on that. There's nothing really you can do. I mean, you could make yourself unanxious and talk to these people. But do you really want to do that? Do you really want to put forth effort and talk? No. No. No, 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 no. And you will genuinely have interactions like this without any communication. Just watch. He's dead. Boom. I can't see anything now because that's one of the downsides of shooting an innocent bystander. Now your vision's blurred. I think it's like dark for 30 seconds, and you can't even pick up that same revolver again. So you're helpless if you shoot the wrong person. Now, a quick aside, something I just want to add for the video. This server has an item shop, and it's actually like pretty extensive. I've never really seen a murder. It's like an item shop is just weird in murder, isn't it? That's why have that? I mean, I guess some people probably like play on the server a lot, but there's a lot of skins in the item shop. I end up picking G-Man because he's free, and well, I'm probably not gonna be playing on the server after this. Alright, now it's time to get into the real meat and potatoes, so to speak, of this game mode. The whole reason behind the name, the murderer. And your objective is really easy compared to everybody else's. You go around and you wipe out the whole server by yourself with just this rinky-dinky-doo knife. And honestly, it's a lot harder than it seems, because I think a lot of people, if they aren't communicating in-game, they're communicating in Discord. And one of the rules of the server oddly enough, is no metagaming. So like no ghosting, if you will, no going out of the game service itself to use Discord or Skype and telling people, hey, that guy's a murderer. No, like if you die in the game, you're supposed to not tell people, and that keeps it interesting, right? It keeps the game flow good for everybody, so that way no one's like bogged down with, oh my gosh, these people are cheating. So if I get a murderer around, then it's wasted, and that whole hour I spent getting this role is just gone. And now I have to wait another hour to 30 minutes to get this role again, or gosh knows how long. And that's genuinely the sad truth of murder in 2014. It's not really, there's not a lot of communication going on, and the few communications that are going on between people aren't in game, so that way everyone can hear it. It's on Discord, it's on Skype. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wasn't really, I talked a little bit at the end, but for the most part, like, I was using text chat. I would use like maybe a voice call out every once in a while, but I couldn't really, bring myself to fully have a conversation with these people. And it's kind of hard to do that when some of these people are, hardcore veterans, and it's like they know how to play this game mode. I don't. I have lost all knowledge of everything about this game mode as a whole. Something I do want to make note is the fact that the murderer has really good, like, offensive capabilities inside buildings. And I mean, the only thing they could really do with range is throw the weapon. But even then, if someone's on a good angle, like the people on the roof, it's really hard to get to them, and then it kind of just stagnates the game, and it kind of just makes it bland, and you're sitting there for 10 or 15 minutes just waiting for these people to end the round. Alright, now time for my final thoughts on murder. I think one of the interesting things about this game mode is they're trying to make it into Trouble in Terrorist Town, but it's not really hitting the mark like they wanted it to. I mean, it used to. It used to hit that mark all the time, but now it's stagnant. It is a stagnant game mode, I hate to say it. I mean, don't get me wrong, Trouble in Terrorist Town is doing really great. I'm pretty sure on average that gets at least 1,000 players. Maybe, but like on the weekend, maybe 1,000 players. During the week, at least maybe 400 to 500. And majority of players obviously just going to Dark RP. So, Murder is basically a shadow of its former self. And it's honestly kind of sad to see Murder go down this hole. Murder was one of those influential game modes on me. This is how I actually started playing Garry's Mod. Way back in the day, I saw Uberhaxer Nova play Murder with his friends, and that's what kind of inspired me to play Garry's Mod, and then eventually branch off into Trouble in Terrorist Town, which honestly I probably played more than I should. But it's really sad to see that this beloved game mode of mine is just gone. It's in the wind, and no one really bats an eye at it anymore. Yeah. I mean, when was the last time you really thought about playing Garry's Mod Murder? Really think about it. Yeah, back in 2012, I bet. Maybe 2014. So it's just, if it had better anything, better something, just more flavor, more texture, anything to just grasp onto. Maybe a new mode, maybe like a new event system where everybody gets a gun. Maybe an event system where there's only one sheriff with everybody being a murderer. Stuff like that. Just spice it up. Spice it up, man. I'm tired of just running around, just waiting to die. Because that's all it is when you're a bystander without a weapon. You're waiting to die. If you have the weapon, you're going out, and you're 9 times out of 10 you're going to shoot innocent, and then you're going to die. And if you get really lucky and get the holy grail of the murderer, you're probably going to get meted anyway. So they're already going to know you're the murderer by the time you spawn in. And it's sad. it's really sad that this is how the game mode is now, because only a select people play it, and those select people know each other, and those select people meta on the daily. And it's sad. It's so sad. I mean, credit where credit is due. You know, the servers still being up and running for Murder is a humongous boon for the community, because, I mean, honestly, this Murder as a game mode should have been, you know, murdered. It's a bygone mode from a bygone era. It's it's time to, you know, put it on the shelf and say, why don't I just play Trouble in Terror Sound, or why don't I just go play Dark RP? It's really sad to see Murder being pushed down this road, but you know, this is the end result for most video games as a whole. So it's not really surprising to me to see Murder become this. And that's all I really have to say about Murder. It's it's dead. Literally, it was killed. It was killed by the fans that forgot it and just ditched it for the much more better, you know, game modes. It's done. And there's no way coming back from it. But I think that's for the best. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you know, you want to see more of this, I might do Trouble on Terrorist Town. If this gets at least, you know, over 40 views, I'll do Trouble on Terrorist. But thank you guys for watching. It means a lot. Everything, just all the support from everyone, it is a lot. And I thank you. Well, this is Pick, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.